I can't laugh too much.
I know, because our government's failing us and we're all getting unwell. And that's the joke this week, folks. The government.
The
Apply
government.
it to whichever country you're in, because sod's law, none of them are doing right by you. Right at this moment. Yes, it's going to be one of those episodes, folks. Welcome back to the big damn political bullshit rant. Yeah, if you are offended by this, then you're probably the sort of person who tells us not to get offended by the things we're upset about.
Yay!
Go piss off. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome back to another fine edition of your friend and ours, the Big Damn Cast. Nerdy news, geeky gossip, all the stuff that's fit to occupy your time, and the brief spans, respite, if you will, pauses between the rest of the world hitting you with the shit it's flinging. The world is an ape flinging its shit, and we are all the fans, greatly accepting that steamy brown load, or green load, depends on the diet, right in our swirling faces.
You've got a fixation there, boy.
The question is, which is the fetish? Is it the feces, the chimpanzees, or the fans? Z's.
The fansies.
That's the question. Which one gets me a throbbing? Well, I'll tell you what gets me a throbbing. Seeing your face.
Oh,
I am
hi.
Christopher. 16 hours worth of paracetamol breaks so far, Johnson.
I'm Matthew. Barely. I'm barely Matthew.
You barely made you.
Yeah.
You're not well, boy. Are you? You're not well, boy.
I'm okay. I'm under the weather.
Under the sea.
Both me and Keeks have taken COVID tests just to be on the safe side, but we figure we've just got a bit of bad cold.
But you've done the right thing. You've done the right thing in today's day and age. That's why I bring it up. Not because I want to terrify everybody about the future of Mayhew. Don't worry, we've got this other guy called Flappy that we're willing to try out if things go wrong. If Matt needs a break, but
don't let him out of the box.
Don't let him out of his dirty box.
Don't feed him after midnight.
Don't make him unhappy. But mostly just because I wanted to let everybody know that that's what you're supposed to do right now, folks. You're feeling a bit under the weather. Get a freaking COVID test. How easy was it?
It was super easy. You just go onto the gov.uk website and say, I want a COVID test. And it's like, okay, give us some details. Do you want to go to a test centre or do you want to get a postal test? I got a postal test because I don't want to go. I want to have as little contact with other people as possible. And they send it to you the next day, and then
Do you piss into a glass?
You don't piss into a glass.
Oh.
You get a cotton swab, and you stick it right to the back of your throat, and you rub your tonsils. And then you take the same swab, and you stick it right up your nose until you feel resistance. And then you drop it, in a pot of preservative fluid. Put that in a bag. Put that in another bag that's sealed. Put that in the box that they send you, and then put it in the post box. Boom.
Done. Bosh.
But you got to put it in a priority post box, so you need to check what's the nearest post box is to you, because it's got to get picked up the same day you post it.
Yeah.
So because it's all about
you can't be taking that test at like 8 p.m. Then you need to be doing it early in the day so that it gets picked the thick.
We got the test about 1:30 in the afternoon. We took it and posted it by 2 p.m. That's how quick it is. Like it's not.
It's a good job you two live in a post box, really.
Yeah. Well, I ran out to the nearest post box because, thankfully, the nearest post box to me is it's a fairly straight shot from my house to the post box, and not having to interact with anyone. And also, when I go out, I wear a mask because I'm considerate.
Sensible. I feel like I've learnt a bit more about your experiences as Mayhew. Wosu.
Oh, tell me about my.
I feel like I can relate to you more now than I ever have done before.
Why? What's happened?
We've known each other for going on nearly 13 years.
So many years.
We've known each other, and yet only in this past sort of week have I realised what it's like when you have to put stuff on your mouth and chin, because it's really annoying having facial hair and having to wear a mask. It's really annoying.
Do you think
I'm
about...
not sporting like any gargantuan like tufts
I've got a big old
of Thor Odinson river face fuzz, but I just
I've got a couple of inches of solid growth here, and I've got a bit of beard as well. So
you do.
It's like yeah, you got a little bit going on. It's like a moisture trap.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm at the stage where like I wouldn't get soup stuck in it, but I would have to go, oh, there's a bit of soup there, and just sort of brush it off. Just a little brush. Wouldn't stay in there for days, but
That's getting soup stuck in it, mate.
All right, yeah. Well, okay, let me reiterate.
Whether you notice or not, it's not
the soup's there for about 2 seconds. I wouldn't like. What I'm saying is, it's not thick enough that after like 2 hours, the soup would still be sat there. The soup would have found an escape route in 2 hours because it'd be like, "This is piss thin, lads." It would have found its way out of my mustache by that point.
You've not lived until you wake up in the morning and you've still got toothpaste in your beard from when you brushed your teeth last night, and you didn't even notice.
I'm looking forward to that stage.
And then you wash it out, and then your beard's all minty for a few minutes.
Well, I say I'm looking forward to that stage. I've got some on-camera work. I've got some on-camera work for kids' TV stuff about a month from now.
Oh yeah, you need to shave that, or you're going to be put on a register somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm at the stage now where it's like it's starting to boof outward. Hi everybody, welcome to this pop culture podcast. It's starting to
what you're listening to.
A little more. Yeah. Oh god, by episode 2, if you're here, episode 217, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? You've just woken up.
Yeah.
It's starting to boof outwards of my face a little bit more now.
Boof.
And I can feel, you sort of hit barriers when nothing's happening, then suddenly, oh shoot, it started growing. Oh, that's weird. Like sometimes happens with hair and stuff. Like you just kind of, like when you first get your hair cut down and it's really short for a couple of days, then it starts to grow a bit, and then it sort of stays at the same place for a couple months, and then goes boom and starts to like grow and spiral and tendril out. Well, I'm wondering, with a month to go, do I give it another couple of weeks and see what happens? Or do I just bite the bullet and shave now?
Give it...
So that my face is completely baby smooth by the time I'm on camera.
Give it till 2 days before you go on camera, because if you're shaving and you're going to go on camera, you want to give it a day for your skin to sort of settle in afterwards.
True.
So give it till 2 days before you go on camera.
I also have to debate whether or not to chop them off, because I've grown incredibly accustomed now to ponytailing my hair above my head.
Shave it all off.
Shaving the sides and the back. No, I don't want to shave it all off. I have an egg-shaped head.
Everyone has an egg-shaped head. Heads are shaped like eggs, Chris.
No, but specifically with the rounder bottom, the smaller top, and if you lick both ends of it from top to bottom, you can find out if it's got off or not. Do you do that? Do you do that with your eggs?
No, who does that? Who licks their eggs?
So if you put your eggs in the fridge door and you've not got the box anymore and you're just a bit unsure, oh god, hang on, how long have they been in there for? You can find out if they're still good to use by literally just touching your tongue to the North Pole of the egg and the South Pole of the egg. If the North Pole is cold or less than room temperature, and the other end feels warm on the tip of your tongue, then the egg is still fresh and edible. That is true housewife tale of old facts.
You know what the easiest way to tell is? You crack the egg into a cup and you give it a sniff.
Yeah, but my way removes the risk of you having to encounter dirt sniff egg.
Bad eggs.
Whereas your version means you have to, you've got to wash at least a cup. You've got to scoop that stuff out into your food waste bin, and then your food waste bin stinks. Yesterday, I got rid of 2 eggs into our big pink lid bin. Food waste bins
stink because it's food waste.
Yesterday, I got into our pink lid bin. It's
rotting food. What do you expect?
We had
it's like
2
people
eggs.
Who go to toilets and complain that they smell of piss.
We had 2 eggs that had been in the fridge a few weeks, and the bottom wasn't warm anymore, and I was like, right, okay. So I opened the bin, and there's grass and bread and cat litter in our pink lid bin. Of course there is. And I take the first egg, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to crack these because the bin's not being collected for 4 days, and I don't want to then have to clean out the bin, like, you know, deep clean it on Friday afternoon because some egg like mixed in with stuff. So I throw the first egg in as gently as I can, and it on the grass. Brilliant. Fantastic. I'm not going to have to clean up egg yolk from the bin. This is great news. So I drop the second one in next to it, but it isn't next to it. It lands on the first one, and they both shatter. And I took that as a personal defeat.
Congratulations, you're an idiot.
I will... Congratulations. Should we talk about pop culture?
No. Let's
People
not
looking
talk
at the
about
thumbnail
pop
and the title
culture.
going, when the fuck are they going to talk about the Avengers game?
What have we got to
What is
talk?
happening?
We got to talk about the Avengers game, and that's it. Which I haven't played. You've played the beta of,
and I want you to grill me on it because my thoughts will just lead into various moaning disappointments. So I think if you can laser align your questions with the specificity of Agent 47 walking around in a dinosaur costume at a kid's birthday party to take out the cocaine peddling multi-billionaire father drug dealer man, but you know, with questions about the Avengers beta.
You just said a lot of words.
I know, but it's because I'm high as fuck on paracetamol and
Paracetamol
toothpaste.
doesn't make you high. You've got no excuse.
That's true. Use painkillers responsibly, kids. Let's reiterate that now. By not using them at all. So, yeah, there's a few bits of news that have crept through, like dirty sniffs that have surprised me.
Yeah, tell me about your dirty sniffs that have happened.
I like roller coasters, so let's start on one that'll take us down first.
Down, baby, down the roller coaster.
Let's go into the dip. We've talked in previous weeks about Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Because they indeed do face the music, yes.
They do. They face right at it, son. They're making the smart decision of... at first, it was postponing the release of the movie ever so slightly amidst the worldwide pandemic. And then the announcement that it will be available on select screens in, like, you know, for the sake of states in the US and stuff that have obviously managed to put enough of a lid on COVID cases and everything at the moment, and can do socially distanced cinema experiences without too much hassle and without any risks. It'll be available for them to go see on the big screen, but it would also be available on demand on the day of release, which is the 28th of August, 11 days from the day we record this podcast. So VOD, limited cinema release. That is the US release plan.
Ooh.
But they've now confirmed it's not the same plan for the UK. We're going to be getting it just under a month later, on September 23rd. And that's, you know, cool, sure, whatever. I'm not sure the internet's going to necessarily fill with Bill and Ted 3 spoilers. Like, it's not going to be one of the, you know what I mean? It's not like an Endgame or whatever where, you know, you just know people aren't going to be able to resist and they're going to be twats and be like, oh my god, this happened to that happened. It's like, shut up. Like, you know, people will be like, oh yeah, it was funny, it was really funny. Like, that's the extent of the responses you're going to see, is people be like, oh, it's really funny, I enjoyed it. Like, you're not going to be seeing, and then in Act 3, this happens, and then this character does this, and that. Like, you're not going to get all that. So that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm sure it's not going to be spoiled for us. What has spoiled the experience for me is they've confirmed that its UK release will be a full-on theatrical release to cinemas. There is no currently planned video-on-demand release, and it will be going to UK cinemas because they assume, I guess, that the UK have it on lock.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely have it on lock. Definitely.
Do you know who I blame for this?
Everyone.
Chris fucking Nolan. In terms of, like, cinemas going, no, it'll be fine. Because by putting Tenet in this will definitely come out in Europe on IMAX screens on this day in late August. By committing to that, other companies going, all right, let's line up because people are going to be going back to the big screen. Let's get our films out. Let's get them out. I'm like, no rush, guys. I feel bad for the cinemas. I feel bad for the cinema employees. I feel bad for the future of cinema. I know we don't love going to the cinema every time, but there is something to be said about the experience of watching a movie on release with a room full of people who all want to see it and see it on a big screen. Like, I do love that. It's one of the simple pleasures that I have missed during this period, and would love to come back to. But just because it's out there now doesn't mean I'm running back to it, like, anytime soon. Because, you know, like, sure, I could go to the cinema in my mask. Great. Yeah, sure. But how do I know other people aren't going to take those fuckers off in the screen? Do you know what I mean?
I think you're
it's
allowed
an enclosed
to.
space thing.
I
You're
think-
allowed. Oh, I know you're allowed to for food and drink. Like if you're going to eat and drink concessions, they recommend that you take them off. But they sort of nowhere asserts it. They all kindly suggest that if you are not eating or drinking, they recommend that if you are not distanced enough, like by a couple of rows, or whatever, you put your mask on.
That's what I mean. It's kindly suggesting that this is the thing though. Like deaths are down. Deaths are down, so that's something to celebrate straight up. But cases are going up again.
Yeah. Well, just look at Wuhan. Yesterday, did you see that? See the news that broke out? So, the ground zero for where the pandemic began, they obviously went into lockdown measures and everything much sooner than the rest of the world because they were dealing with it before the rest of the world were, and they were like, right, shit, we need to get in on this, we need to lock it down. Since May, there has been no surge of cases over 500 at a time reported in hospitals.
Yeah.
They track and trace like crazy, and they've kept on top of it. Because of course they have. A pandemic started in their city, they want to try and stomp it out as quickly as possible to stop the spread to the rest of the world and save people in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But then a couple nights ago, there was a giant freaking rave pool party thing with 5,000 partygoers. And they're all swimming together, and there's DJ sets and all this. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I think what they're trying to do here in terms of them publicizing the media people who worked on it in Wuhan, publicizing it, is they want to be like, hey, we're out the back of it. Isn't this great? It's like, I don't know, but to the rest of the world, it doesn't look like, here's what you guys could be having if you stuck to safety stuff. It more makes me think, God, I really hope you guys know for sure that everyone at that party doesn't have it. No one at that party showed symptoms.
Yeah.
Because one person going there, one person being there at that thing, could fuck all that hard work up that you've done.
Well, it's like
New Zealand, to stave it off.
New Zealand reported a couple of cases last week after 2 months of no cases.
Yeah.
So it can re-emerge. And we're still on 1,000 cases a day.
Yeah.
So why are cinemas shouldn't be open? I understand.
No non-essential shops should be open.
Yeah. It's like when they put the Northwest back into lockdown. They didn't really put the Northwest back into lockdown because the pubs are still open. All non-essential shops are still open. The only difference is now that you're not allowed to go and have a cup of tea in your parents' backyard. You have to go and do it at a Costa.
Yeah, your grandparents are out in the middle of nowhere. They find it hard to shop and stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't go visit them. But if you were to bump into each other in Asda, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's because we're still technically in that non-lockdown lockdown,
and
we're still in it.
Companies are too craven to insist that you wear masks and take proper precautions. They don't enforce the guidelines. This is what I said when I did my strongly worded email to Odeon. It's like, I don't trust Odeon to enforce whatever guidelines that they have in place.
Yeah.
Because companies don't do that. They're terrified of upsetting people.
Yeah.
But if you don't take those...
Thanks to America, every company is terrified of upsetting an individual in any way, lest they get taken to court for upsetting someone.
I think that's been blown out of proportion. Because if you look...
Can you think of any reason as to why these companies wouldn't just go, no, this is about health and safety, jog on?
It's not that
the fact they're terrified that rando number 55 is going to be like, right, that's it, I'm getting my lawyer in on this place, I'm getting my lawyer to come down here, and because even if they don't lose any cases, they're going to be bothered and have to do all this shit for a few months.
They're not worried about getting taken to court. They're worried about losing money and losing customers. That's what it is.
Can't lose the money from those selfish bastards who don't mind spreading a pandemic.
So that's what it is. It's
capitalism, guys. It doesn't work entirely. Maybe start using some other instincts, folks. Maybe start using some other philosophies.
So yeah,
this bullshit.
It really sucks that Bill and Ted's only getting a cinema release, because it means that we're not really going to be able to cover cinema releases for the next few months if we're being responsible.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Unless between like now and late September they suddenly are like, here's how it's going to work, this many people and this many screens, it's an appointment thingy, you have to show up at this time, there'll be no one else here, come in this, that, and the other, blah, 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 do this, do that, here's that, and cases are down beyond whatever. Unless something that drastic happens within a month, we ain't seeing this.
I don't think it's a coincidence that we've seen cases start rising again since the pubs and cinemas have opened.
Oh, it ain't a coincidence. And yet, no spikes in the same level, no spikes of the same level of significance after the BLM protests over the course of the initial 2 weeks.
No.
But everybody who was against those protests vehemently on the basis of, well, they're just going to spread the virus, has likely gone to the pub since. That's a generalisation. Maybe it's bullshit.
I don't know. You've seen the area we live in. You've seen the kind of people who go to the pubs nearby.
There was a lady in Big Asda yesterday who she came in. She was walking up to because they've opened up all the entrances to our local big supermarket now.
Yeah.
One entrance you want to filter in. Now
one-way system's gone. The staggered entry's gone. They're not taking account of people in the thing.
They're still putting up thingies for antibacterial.
Extra hand washing and all that stuff. Yeah,
and they're still encouraging that you do scan and go rather than use the tills where possible.
That also means they have to have less staff on. May. So
yeah, I've been doing that since probably May. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna scan and go, and
I've mostly used scan and go.
Just do my thing and then jog on. So there's that, but they're still enforcing the masks though. Like, again, not enforcing, but there's signs everywhere saying wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. A woman comes in from the top floor, putting a mask on because so many people are just whacking them on in the lobby as they go from one set of automatic doors to the next. She puts her mask on, walks past security with a kid, and then as soon as they're through the little freaking automatic saloon doors
mask
next to George, a mask came off. She put it in her pocket. It's just like, what the actual fuck? What the fuck? Like, oh my, you have a kid with you. You have a kid who's in his early teens. Like, he could carry it. He could give it to you. You could give it to him. What the actual...
People don't care. People don't care.
People. Which is why I was delighted to find out that a good person was involved in something I have no idea about.
Oh, tell me about this.
So, we're millennials, which means...
nothing.
Well, yeah. But it means statistically, we should be excited about Space Jam 2, now titled Space Jam A New Legacy. Because that's the only reason they're making this. Because millennials have semi-fond memories of watching it on VHS.
People really, really like Space Jam.
Space Jam is, for those who don't know, is the apex of quality cinema. No, it's a movie where
it's a
Michael
terrible
Jordan,
cartoon basketball game for the Sega Saturn. That's what Space Jam is.
Yes. It's right in that sweet spot as well, where it's on the older consoles and creeps into the early PlayStation stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's in that weird little midpoint where it was 36-bit and on CD-ROM. It's a movie where Michael Jordan, former basketball star turned baseball star and then eventually basketball star again, teams up with the Looney Tunes, who live but somehow make programs in a world underneath our world and are real. Team up in a basketball game for the fate of the Earth after this big creepy alien thing played by Danny DeVito's like, I want to put the Looney Tunes on my planet, and then we're gonna... I think they're we're going to blow up Earth and turn it into the parking lot for the event or something. It's really stupid, and
oh god,
it's only memorable because so many kids grew up with it, having not owned a copy of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in their house, which is a far superior version of 2D things interact with real life things for a whole feature film.
Everyone should own a copy of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in their house.
It's so good. Bugs is in it. There you go, folks. If you really want some Bugs Bunny, go get it. It's hugely popular in the furry communities because, of course, but specifically Lola Bunny.
Yeah, because I keep getting... You know when you keep getting those weird, like, unofficial T-shirt ads on Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
What are the ones I
didn't even need to hear you say the site. Knew exactly which social media thing you were about to say. They throw you this shit and force you to buy it.
I keep getting, like... Oh, I don't get many more. I think I blocked them. But I kept getting these ads on Facebook for these unofficial T-shirts, and there was two really common things that popped up. One was always, like, Sexy Velma from Scooby-Doo. And
I'm not sure why you're complaining about this.
And the other one was Lola Bunny being spanked by Bugs.
What the fuck?
Like, complete with, like, in the basketball uniform, but with a skirt and, like, white panties. I'm like, what is this?
Super specific. That is super specific.
I know! But I don't know why.
You know why?
They were gone by Facebook.
You're a millennial, so naturally you like Space Jam, right?
I don't want to... I'm not interested in Bugs spanking Lola, you know what I mean?
Space Jam. I always wanted you to spank Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
If I see it again, if I see the ad again, I'll screen cap it. But I think I've blocked it now.
He says.
I'm going looking for it now.
So... Space Jam, the next generation. Space Jam: The New Legacy is a film that they've been talking about doing a Space Jam sequel for forever. Just cause. Again, it's simply because the original made a shit ton of money when it came out. That's why. And even though we are over 20 years later, execs who worked there in the 90s probably still work there and are like, this has to be made. We've mentioned it on the podcast before, like fleetingly, this is a thing that's going to happen. And that we're not fucked. Like, we love the Looney Tunes. Eric Bowser, the current voice of pretty much every Looney Tunes character, is a phenomenal voice actor. And if he's playing the roles, great. I'd be curious to see his work.
You say that, but I'm not sure I do love the Looney Tunes. But I'm not gonna question your love for them.
I do, but I think it's because I was raised on a diet of, like, you know, the Goons and the Marx Brothers and sort of that kind of, you know, early 1900s, like, this humor is wacky bullshit. Like, I can't help it. If you said to me, you've got to pick one, like, you know, Looney Tunes or Simpsons, which one are you going to have forever and lose the other? I'd be like, Looney Tunes. I'll keep Looney Tunes. I'll absolutely keep Looney Tunes. Unless you were telling me that it was just the first 8 seasons of Simpsons and the rest are being ejected into space, in which case I'd be like, let's negotiate further. But, you know, it's just... I love them. I don't care for Space Jam. The most joy I've ever got out of Space Jam is watching Rachel Bloom of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend fame talking about her morbid fascination with Space Jam. There's a whole video on, I think it's Belated Media on YouTube, where she goes into it because it is that thing of the moment you start to unpack the world that it's set in, it crumbles into dust, but those dust piles contain gold, but they're fool's gold, and inside the fool's gold is a Kinder Surprise toy of confusion. Like, it doesn't make sense. And the fact that the whole movie may only have existed because Michael Jordan owed a shitload of money to the mob because the mob killed his father when he owed them a shitload of money.
Sure.
The timing of the finance of the movie and all these other things, you're like, wait, what? And that's not even starting on the whole logic of the film's plot. And, oh, it's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. It's just, but the sequel's happening. It stars LeBron James, because of course it does.
I'm sorry, I'm just crying with laughter at the stupidity of Space Jam. Everything's a lot more right now, okay?
Everything's a lot, and Space Jam is here to save us with LeBron James. LeBron James. Image came out this week, as you said, of him in his kit. They've sneak peeked it.
LeBron James, or as he's known in France, James the Bron.
That is the highest brow we are going to hit this week. Enjoy it, folks. That was fucking great. Here's the reason why I'm confused. Somebody is involved in the making of this that I had no idea, and has now actually made me really freaking curious.
Who is involved in the making of this that's made you really curious?
Do you know who is producing this movie? This sequel to a 90s cult classic, terrible movie that is only famous because kids owned it on video.
Mel Brooks.
Oh no! See, now that would be an assertion of quality of some kind, because I'd be like, "Wow, he's obviously found an angle here. Let's do this." No, do you know who produced this? Not only produced it, but used his clout as a producer for another film to get the ball rolling on this one.
You mean the ball bouncing? It's a basketball film.
Oh yeah, to get the ball bouncing. Ryan fucking Coogler. Ryan Creed Black Panther Coogler is producing this movie, but not just that. He's co-written it. Ryan,
that's perfect.
Bloody Coogler. Ryan, this guy knows what the hell he's doing, Coogler.
That is what you do with that Marvel money.
That's what you do with that Marvel money. You turn around and you go, do you know what the world needs? Another Fruitvale Station? Nope. Space Jam 2.
Space Jam.
Space Electric Boogaloo.
That's what you do. You make Black Panther, you make a shit ton of money, and then you go to Warner Brothers and you go, hey, you know what? You know what we should do? We should make Space Jam a new legacy.
But think about this. Please think about this, right?
I am thinking about it.
The Fruitvale Station was what the film that sort of got everyone's attention. Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Then he makes Creed, which is a big ask because people want more Rocky, but there's no point doing more Rocky because it's pointless doing more Rocky. So you soft reboot the Rocky franchise by making a different protagonist the lead and tying it in. Like Creed is the Force Awakens of Rocky. It's like, here's how we do more of this, but not just repeating everything we did exactly with the same people.
Yeah, I really like Creed and Creed 2 for that matter.
It's great. Well, that's the thing. It's great. He then does Black Panther, which is great. He doesn't have time to do Creed 2 as director. He's only the executive producer on Creed 2.
It's still real good, though.
This is where my morbid fascination with this movie is beginning, because yes, he was directing Black Panther, but for the majority of 2018, they would have been in post on Black Panther. They would have finished shooting that in early to mid 2017, as is the way with the turnaround on special effects movies.
Yeah.
Creed 2 is not a heavy special effects movie. Creed 2 would likely have been shot mid 2017 at the earliest, finishing probably early 2018 in principal photography. Because films like Creed 2 take about 3 months turnaround post-production. They sometimes give it longer, but usually takes about that long. So, that means if he wasn't available to shoot Creed 2, it's because he took a bit of a break after Black Panther, and then would have begun working on his next project. Space Jam: A New Legacy is going to feature a shitload of CGI and hand-drawn animation. When you do a lot of that in a movie, especially with a movie that's live action, you need to shoot that live action after at least a year of pre-production to figure out how it's all going to work. And then you need to give the film a shitload of time while you get the animation started, because that's the stuff that takes the longest to do. Meaning, Ryan Coogler of Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther fame probably didn't direct Creed 2 because he was busy starting work on Space Jam. A new legacy.
I love it.
Just think about how much he clearly wants to do this. He didn't do Creed 2.
That's amazing.
But he's doing Space Jam.
You know what's not amazing though, Chris?
Oh?
The cursed image. I found the cursed image that I was telling you about.
No, you didn't. You fucking didn't. You found it. Was it in your search history?
No, I had to Google it. I had to Google Lola Bunny t-shirt. And
when that didn't work, you had to add the words.
This is not an uncommon result. This is a first page result from Amazon.com.
Why? Okay, folks, just so you know, Lola Bunny is butt naked with her panties around her thighs. But there are several other questions I have about this image. One, why is she wearing panties? She doesn't wear panties in the films. She's a naked cartoon bunny rabbit. Two, why don't her panties have a hole in them for her fluffy tail to stick out when she's wearing them?
There's a slightly safe for work version is like the third result.
Oh, they're in
on the
clothes.
page.
Three, why does Bugs look so, disgustingly proud of himself in that picture?
I don't know. There's men's and women's versions. Why did I used to get Facebook ads for this?
4, where are the back legs of the chair? The chair doesn't have back legs.
They're behind Lola Bunny's legs.
No, her legs aren't that thick with 2 C's. Where are the legs of the chair?
I know, they are on some of these pictures.
My final question, as someone who watched Space Jam when he was a kid, question 5, why isn't it Lola spanking Bugs? Why isn't it Lola spanking Bugs? She's definitely a top.
It should be.
I'm going to have to do some Googling after this.
No, I don't think you do.
For research, you know.
This is what you get when you Google it.
Damn,
you get things like this.
That's a thick Lola Bunny. That is a thick Lola Bunny.
You also get things like this. So, you know.
I mean, I get that, weirdly. It's going to inevitably be a Halloween costume. It's just weird that it's 20-odd years later, meaning the people wearing that at Halloween parties either were too young to even watch the damn thing when it came out, or are, in their early 30s and think that dressing up as Lola Bunny for Halloween's a good idea. So we're dressing up as Lola Bunny for Halloween, right?
No.
Oh, no. Shit biscuits.
Yeah, I'm going to dress up
a biscuit.
Like Lola Bunny at Halloween, and you can be Bugs and spank my bottom red raw.
But socially distanced.
Socially distanced, yeah.
I'll have a long pole with a paddle shaped like Bugs' gloved hand. Socially
distanced Halloween. From one awful thing to another, Christopher, you played the Avengers beta this weekend.
I did.
I didn't, and I didn't watch the stream. So tell me, Don Miguel, tell me of the Avengers beta. First of all, what did the beta give you access to?
So I got hold of the beta code. There was an open beta period this weekend for PS4 use.
Did you?
I got the
did you have to
code?
Did you have to pre-order it?
I pre-ordered the game because I'd made the decision after the previous trailers that I'm going to give this a go. I loves my superhero media. I look back at my game collection and so much of it is third-person action-adventure superhero stuff, and I dig it. And recently on stream, I've been replaying Arkham Knight and Spider-Man a couple months ago, and I'm like, do you know what? This game hasn't been screaming, buy me, at me. But the latest trailers made me go, I'm interested in the story.
If a game started screaming, buy me, at me, I would not buy it. I would burn it.
I would be like, oh, Satan, you have invaded my console.
Satan is in the game. Ah!
I wouldn't, weirdly, it was the MODOK and Kamala Khan stuff in the latest trailer that made me go, okay, I want to see how weird they go with MODOK. I want to see if they do MODOK justice. I want to see it. And I want to play as Kamala Khan. I really enjoy Ms. Marvel as a character. I think she's great. I love her to bits. And seeing her depicted, the voice actress, she's brilliant. She's so good in the role. So I was like, I'm interested. So I pre-ordered the bugger because I thought I'll either pre-order it now or I'll end up having to find it on PS5 in the new year when that version comes out, and it'll be like 20 quid more.
Are you gonna buy a PS5 though?
I am.
At launch.
Probably not at launch because I'm freelance, but I'm putting aside. I'm already putting aside for a PS5.
They haven't announced pricing yet, so
I know. But I'm assuming in the
man.
wheelhouse of $350 to $450 for the hardware, hardwareless version. $450 to $500 for the disc drive version.
That's
what I'm assuming, and that's with 2 controllers. I always get 2 on launch for a console because I want to take advantage of playing with other people immediately.
You can only do that on the internet.
Couch co-op. Well, that's the thing. You were saying this game. What does it give you?
Yeah, what did the beta give you? We got away from that.
Actual content. The beginning of the beta is a 5-minute sequence where you have to get your freaking login code from the Square Enix website. That was exciting. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun, yeah. Considering I'd already done it all, and then I started the beta play demonstration, and I was like, there's still shit missing here. Why does it still want me to give it this? I thought I'd done it all. What is this shit? And then me and
I didn't do any of it.
5 minutes for a code to get emailed to me to confirm the finality of entering in. What it gives you is
finality, like it's a death sentence. You've entered the Avengers beta. Abandon all hope. You enter here.
Bad luck, motherfuckers. It starts with It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It
doesn't even matter how hard you try. It still sucks.
Oh god, it's not fun, but we'll get into it. It starts with some of the prologue. So we know the plot of the game is on a celebration of the Avengers in a day where like San Francisco's like receiving some Stark Tech stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
it's literally just Avengers, yay, they're great. Also attended by young Kamala Khan and her father. A terrorist attack happens on that day. The scientist who's working with Tony on studying the Terrigen crystals is like, someone's trying to get into our system. We've got to get this stuff transported. So they're transporting the Terrigen crystals within Stark Industries, care from one place to another. And the convoy gets attacked with Stark Tech weaponry and technology, with a terrorist group led by the Taskmaster. And basically, the Avengers are like, oh shit, well, we're all here. Let's spring into action. Stuff's going on a helicarrier called the Chimera. So Cap is fighting bad guys on the Chimera, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And the head AIM scientist dude is on there as well. The guy working with Tony, and he's this, that, and the other. And then stuff is set off, and bombs go off in San Francisco, like destroying whole sections of the city. And the bridge is destroyed, and the Terrigen crystals are blown up in the explosion and releasing the Terrigen mists into San Francisco.
What about the creators of the crystals, Terrence and Jennifer?
Damn you!
I've been sitting on that for 3 minutes.
Jesus! Oh God! That was awful. You should be proud.
It was like sitting on an egg.
Oh God! So already we're in the God. They're really trying to push the Inhumans on us, aren't they? Territory. But as a plot in an Avengers thing, I'm all for that, because at least this way they are introducing to the wider pop culture world, who may not be as familiar with the Inhumans, really. Like, here's the concept of it. Here's what it is. Here's how it happens.
But also
in a story featuring characters and also our protagonist, and still the main reason why I'm hopeful for the campaign, Kamala Khan.
Yeah,
who, of course, after time starts to exhibit superpowers.
She is an Inhuman, so unless you want to change the origin round to sort of simplify it, you need to do Inhuman stuff. Terrigen mists and all that crap.
I think the Inhuman, it's a relatively straightforward concept to grasp, isn't it? To the outsider, you breathe this stuff in and you get superpowers.
Yeah, there's nothing like inherently bad about the concept of the Inhumans. It's just that no one's ever in 40 odd years made them interesting.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing about them has always been the idea of them in their own kingdom, and the Fantastic Four's interaction with them in particular is like sort of the most significant and interesting one. And
but as someone who's read,
and there's some great characters in there.
There's some great characters. Let me tell you, they're still not interesting even when they turn up in Fantastic Four. They turn up in Fantastic Four and you go, oh fuck, it's another Inhumans issue.
They need to be approached by someone who looks at them as a fantasy novel. Like, I think that's the best way to do it. Like, just because of how mythic they can be. Especially we're talking about the core Inhumans, like, the kingdom with Black Bolt and
the royal
Medusa,
family, basically.
Yeah, and Crystal and everything. Like, those guys, I don't think those guys are in this game. This game is This game's spinning out of, I guess, Inhumanity. And what was the story? What was the crossover event that triggered the Terrigen thing that started Inhumanity? Was it
Infinite?
Was it the end of Infinity? Yeah. So they're kind of adapting that, but that's not the only storyline they're obviously adapting, and we'll get into that. So Captain America dies when the Chimera, the helicarrier, is blown up. And
oh no, he's dead.
Tony's collaborator is incredibly coy about the events on the helicarrier because he managed to get off of it before Cap died. But he's sort of like, well, he surely must have died in the explosion. And this, that, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And you realise, because the game then cuts forward 5 years, and in the beta it's explained to us. Sorry, 1 second. There's a weird noise outside the door. I think my window cleaners might have arrived 4 hours later than usual. They ain't getting paid today. I'm in the back room busy. They'll get paid in a fortnight when they show up then. This guy, 5 years later, because it skips forward 5 years with a caption, is now in charge of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, which has absorbed and overtaken Stark Industries. Sure. And they're preventing any future disasters by having security bots and drones everywhere, new cameras, new laser technologies. Superheroes are illegal, and as a result, none have been seen publicly for at least 5 years. And the plot is Kamala Khan gets wind of a supposed cure for the Inhuman condition, which has killed thousands in the testing stages, and it's being kept quiet from the public.
I've been looking for a cure for the Inhuman condition for years, man.
Yeah. But... God. Because you're just a big, lovable bulldog who can teleport. But he's, so she's trying to find out more, and she realizes the only way we're going to get this done, because she's based on the last story trailer, she's approached by the AIM scientist who, at this point, he's wearing a tech thing around his head, and his cranium is starting to grow.
Oh, he's a mental organism designed only for knowledge.
Designed only for microtransactions.
He's
Modom.
Modom.
But she knows some dodgy shit's going on because they tried to get hold of her. So she's like, the only person or people who can fix this are the Avengers. I've got to find them. So the story is Kamala Khan is trying to get the Avengers back together. And she's first approached by, and we learn this in a caption, Bruce Banner, who is riding around in an RV and finds her and gives her a lift back to his base, which is the Chimera, the crashed helicarrier. He's living in the helicarrier. They go to in the demo, we then go to an AIM plant, a hidden AIM plant, and we explore XYZ. And then we find out that the experiments are continuing, but not only that, they're trying to channel the Terrigen Mist into some form of super weapon, because video games. And you learn that some villains are tied in with it, some villains are working with AIM to continue this thing, they're in their employ.
Which villains?
Well, Taskmaster for the assault.
Yeah.
But the one and that's a boss battle, and then the one that we get to deal with in the 5-year time skip is Abomination. Inside a big lab. And
big lad in a big lab.
He's in it. Big lad in a big lab. He's in it. And we fight him, and then the sort of story portion of the beta ends with us being like, Tony's the person we need for the next component. He's not going to listen to us. I know where he is, but he won't let us nearby. We need to go talk to him. And that's where the story mission of it ends. So it's
they've
in terms of story,
more than a few story beats from Endgame.
Well, let's talk story before we move on to the next portion of the beta.
Yeah.
So, Watchmen, Incredibles, Civil War, Endgame. We've done this. We've seen it. We've fucking seen it.
Seen it.
I hate when they take property that's known and it's their first go at a new medium, and the first story they think to do is they're broken up. We got to get them back together. No. Show us why they're fucking great in the first place.
Yeah.
This game opens with an event where everyone's celebrating the Avengers, and then they fail and people die. I don't want to get that lot back together.
No,
Look what happened the last time they were faced with a challenge.
They failed.
What a load of bollocks. But they're assuming that you, the people, Like, no, it's the Avengers, so oh, they were bested that day. No, fuck off. Fuck off. This should not be the first story. I'm sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of it.
We will take the Avengers and return them to you, the people.
But like, as a kid, I watched Scooby-Doo the movie, the first live-action one. That's the plot of Scooby-Doo the movie. They have a fallout at the end of a mission thing. They get pissed off with each other. They bugger off. We time skip several years, and then someone's got to get the band back together to do. It's just like
it's like a standard story template for when you take something from one medium and adapt it into another. Like,
I'm so bored of it. I'm bored of it. It's like the liar revealed story trope. I'm bored of that. There are certain stories where you just go, I'm done with that. I'm done with that now. Do we have to do it again?
Or at least if you're going to do it, do something interesting with it. Like,
make it the second game. Make it the second game. You know why they've done it. You know why they've done it. So that after 5 years, the cityscapes and landscapes can be transformed enough that there are sentries and robots and security detail things that they have to smash through and attack. And it's just like, or be more creative. Be more freaking creative.
I wonder if there's going to be communications towers that you have to take over to unlock more parts of the map and levels to play in.
There fucking will be.
I wonder.
Now, I don't bemoan all games that do that, because some games do it as a training function for you, the player, to get used to your environment. Like, they do it so that you learn what the environment is, you become accustomed to it. Good examples include Spidey 2018, which throws you in the deep end. You're completely blind in the first hour and a half to getting around the city until you take out the towers, and you could wait the whole game before you take them out if you wanted, and then you'll be like, oh shit, there's a lot of side missions I never did. But that, like, Shadow of Mordor does that. The whole idea of, like, you get to these certain points and it teaches you, like, you may not have noticed it, but your brain did. Like, you'll be like, oh, now I know these environments. Like, I can now swing around in Spidey without checking the map, because I'm like, oh, I know where I am. I know whereabouts I am in which district. So that can be useful, but if this game does it, I will be so fucking pissed off, but I'll get into that. Terrigen Mist in humans, yes, they're a thing from the comics, but do you know what they are in terms of story function on a video game?
MacGuffins.
They're a plague storyline.
Oh.
We've had a lot of that in games in recent years.
And in real life, as it turns out.
Well, that too, but like just playing games when I started my regular Twitch schedule, I made a point of trying not to play games with plagues in them for at least the first couple of months, because I was like, this is escapism. People watching this don't really want to see that. And then it popped up in nearly every fucking game we played. Spider-Man 2018, Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Knight. There's elements of it in, like, Uncharted 3. It's just like, is this it? Is this the mechanic for all games? At some point, there's a plague. At some point, there's security robots. Like, give me some variety. This game ain't giving us variety. Let's talk story stuff before I really get into it. So, playing as Kamala Khan is a joy. Her power set is one of the more fun to use. Her control scheme is great. For those who don't know, she's Ms. Marvel. She has basically stretching and super strength powers. She doesn't leap across, like, giant chasms, but her legs stretch, so she jumps a bit further than the other characters do. If there's something to cling onto, if you jump under it, she will swing from it. She'll grab it with her arm and swing from it.
She's a bit like Mr. Fantastic, but good.
Yeah, well, she's like Mr. Fantastic, but she's not, like, infinitely stretchy, this, that, and the other. She's like, she sort of has a limit to her stretching, and that kind of makes for fun combat. Like, your super move as Kamala is you just grow to, like, 15 feet. So her strength increases a bit, and she can obviously hit more enemies in one go. But that's cool. So much fun when you're, like, fighting an alien-style mech, and you're doing barely any damage. You hit your super meter, and you're like, right, and you click your first two front triggers. She grows, and she usually lets out some kind of pithy kind of like, hello down there, like, as soon as she's done it. And you go from smacking these machines trying to get damage to kicking them once and punting them across the room.
Brilliant.
Like, that stuff is so much fun. She's beautifully voice acted. One of her other mini specials is called High Five. When you charge it up, you just press it, and basically her hand goes massive and she twats like 3 people across the room.
Brilliant.
Like, that stuff is great. she's a lot of fun to play as, and she's well written and beautifully performed. She acts mostly in the beta opposite Bruce Banner, played by Troy. I know again Baker.
Again?
Yeah, who like since all the Last of Us 2 Fallout shit, I'm really soured on him, and I'm trying not to be. But it's making it easy to find holes now in that hole. You've just settled into it. Like you're the best there is at what you do because they don't employ any other fucker. Like that's why. So yeah, but his banner's fine. You get to play as the Hulk a fair bit. The Hulk versus Abomination boss fight is really fun.
Yeah.
I was playing on normal difficulty, and it was one of those like up to the wire. Oh my god! I just completed it without dying. Holy shit! Like that's fun. Hulk's combat can be great, but it feels like he's depowered, and I don't know if that's because you have to up your skill tree as you go.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like you're playing as the Hulk. It feels like you're playing as like Colossus or Captain America in terms of like the amount of damage and wreckage you're doing.
Okay.
It's also hilarious that I'm not sure which character it is yet because we didn't get to play with any of them in these sorts of levels. But it's possibly Black Widow or maybe like Cap later, because let's face it, they'll use him later. His death isn't on screen. So
I don't know. They have given him the blandest character model known to man, so they might have done that just to get
his costume.
Just because he wasn't going to be on screen that much.
His costume is so bad. Like, should we just do like a Call of Duty kind of SWAT outfit, but paint it a little bit like Captain America? Yeah, people will love that. Thanks, I hate it. It's just so, Thanks. But there's these little barriers everywhere that feel like sort of environments where a character would duck down to like, you know, take a moment and then fire over the top of it. And you know they're around because Hulk can pretty much destroy anything in a room except those, to the point where there's even a pre-keyed animation where he just sort of does like a little leap over them, and it's like, that's taking me out of it a bit. Like, I should be a tank made of flesh and fury. Like, what is going on? The majority of Hulk gameplay you experience in the prologue is just parkour.
Hardcore parkour.
Yeah, and I'm like, why am I doing this with Hulk? This is odd.
This is not Hulk, yeah. That's weird.
In the prologue, you get to play as Hulk for the first time, but you also get to play as Thor, whose control set is pretty great. You get to play as him for about 3 minutes, and it's like, oh, is that it? But he's not bad. Like, every character has a ranged attack.
3 minutes.
3 minutes of
play time.
If you hold down the L2 trigger, you aim. If you hold down the R2 trigger, you fire.
Yeah.
And so everyone has a ranged attack, like whether it be in the case of like Miss Marvel, just like a targeted punch at length, or a Black Widow, you know, firing guns. With Hulk, it's picking up rubble and throwing it. Thor's ranged attack, of course, is just you start aiming, he starts twirling Mjolnir, you hit the fire button, he launches Mjolnir at an opponent.
Does the hammer pull him off?
His range... oh my god, the hammer pulled you off. His ranged attack is great because Mjolnir, for weaker enemies, doesn't just smack them and then come back. It smacks them and holds them against a surface.
Oh, that's quite good.
You have to press the range attack button again to recall Mjolnir into your hand.
That's quite good.
Meaning in that brief span, you're just fisticuffing with whoever's nearby. So that stuff's fun. Thor's play style is a lot of fun. The voice actor is going ham. If this were an animated style game, he would be perfect. But because they're trying to make it look realistic, it feels OTT. It's really weird. Do you know what I mean? It's that they've decided to go for the realism look, but instead of doing what Spider-Man did, where they were like, we're going to make everyone look realistic, but the game's also going to be very bright and vibrant.
They decided to go for the realism look, but half-assed it.
Spider-Man 2018 did a great job because it was like, we're going to make the suit look like it's a real thing, but it's also bright red and blue and white. So there's enough of a disconnect that you in your head are like, oh, it's like kids' TV. Oh, it's like an animated film. Oh, it's like a musical. Like, it's just that heightened reality that comes with the brighter color schemes. You know, Scorpion's outfit is all tech, but it's still big, green, bulky, shiny metal all over him. So he's still like, he's still comic booky. You know, like the only sort of realistic looking villain in Marvel Spider-Man is Norman Osborn, and he's not even a full on villain. He's just middle-aged mayor man. And that's the point. Like, he's not a supervillain yet. So
he's just a craggy dude.
Whereas this game's gone, how do we make everyone look realistic? Forgetting that we have templates for this. It's called the MCU.
Yeah.
And they've walked the line beautifully. The MCU costumes are like Spidey 2018. They are realistic, but vibrant. They are slightly pantomime, but not in a garish way.
Evocative of the comic books without being too ostentatious.
Yeah, this plays it too safe. Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix plays it too safe. Thor's got like mirrored circles on his chest, like in the typical Thor pattern.
Yeah.
But like the detail on them is so insane that they're just distracting. They're not like, oh wow, look at his costume. They're like, oh Jesus, what's that on the? Oh, it's like a. It's like a sort of a. It's like the edge of a Roman plate or something. Like, oh, okay, that's all right. Also, this game has awful hair. I know hair's not something all consoles have figured out yet, but this has noticeably fucking dreadful hair for everyone. Like, just the hair looks like it was made in the engine for a PS2 game and has been slapped onto a PS4 game's character model.
Hair is tough, man. Hair is tough.
I tried to use photo mode a couple times, and every time I was like, I'm not taking this still image because that hair is fucking dire. Like, what is going on? No matter what filter I used, the character looked like someone had just scribbled over the top of the head before I'd taken the shot.
I think you're more sensitive about hair than most. But I take
True,
your point.
but having recently played like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is a game using the programs and an engine for another game earlier than it, because it's just a continuation of the development process.
Yeah.
That was a early-ish PS4 title out in early 2016. Like Chloe and Nadine has frizzy big hair, whether it's bunched into a tail at the back or whether it's out. Nadine's hair looks like real hair. Like, it looks like actual hair, and that should be a difficult like type of hair, texture of hair to render in a game.
Yeah.
It looked great. Chloe's hair is simplistic video game style, pony back, few strands here and there, but it looks like hair. And
it's also on Claudia Black, so it gets a plus.
Yeah.
In that Claudia Black is a force multiplier.
But Claudia Black, like, is our rule, essentially.
We started rewatching Farscape recently, so we're getting
she's a joy, isn't she?
We're getting a lot of Claudia Black in our eye holes.
And a lot of Jim Henson's Workshop's most underappreciated creature work as well.
Oh god, they do some fucking wonderful
weird
stuff.
Shit.
But yeah.
So Thor's beard and hair both look like dog shite, and it's very distracting because you can't connect with the character if you're spending all your time looking at them going, oh, that looks weird. There's the uncanny valley element there. So that's a nitpick. Some people might be listening to me complaining about this stuff, and I'd say, Chris, it's just the beta. Yeah, a beta that's available to play 2.5 weeks before release. Our feedback ain't going to be changing shit about the game we get on release. Because there was after certain missions, there was regular feedback things of on 1 to 5, like how satisfied were you with this mission and things like that. Now, admittedly, this could be, because this all seems to be footage, like the story missions, footage of things we've seen since early last summer, when journalists and games console events started covering the game. It's likely that the story portion of this is the demo from last year, meaning that there will have been improvements, there will have been things that have changed.
Like, this is a packaged version of the E3 demo they got last year for journalists and stuff. Possibly.
Yeah. The second half of the beta is where I'm really worried. So you also get to play as Iron Man a bit. Iron Man operates like the Bat Tank in Arkham Knight, i.e. like shit. Like, he doesn't play well. That being said, later on when I got to play with him in the harm room, not the danger room.
I don't like that at all.
The harm room.
I don't like that at all.
Which is like, it's like a holographic something. I got to play with him in there, and the more I got to play with him in that big open space, the more used to him I got, but he takes a bit. He takes a bit to get used to.
Okay.
Which is annoying, because like, if you played him in the prologue, you're like, oh. And then later on, you get to teach yourself, I guess. But it's like, oh, that's a shame. Because Thor, it was like, oh, I get it. All right. You get to play as Cap briefly. Cap is very... Cap is basically Cap from the Captain America Super Soldier PS3 game tie into the first Avenger,
which I never played, but apparently was fine.
Fine, yeah. He's basically Arkham Light with
got
some
the
ranged
Thor
attacks
one on Wii, but I've not played it, and I've heard that similarly fine.
Yeah, play it because it's that whole movie tie-in thing where, of course, they add a shitload of villains into it that then don't show up. Some then do show up later in the cinematic series, and they have to like pretend that never happened in the sequel game. Brilliant, which is always fun. There's a few of them in the Captain America one. There's like Zola and Crossbones and all this. It's like, what the fuck? The last era of the direct movie tie-in games. That really, the early 2010s.
Yeah,
for the better. So yeah, it's Cat plays sort of Arkham Light, and he's very hands-on, obviously, and
that makes sense.
Fun to play as.
Right.
Widow is tied with Marvel for the best because you have to think about what the feck you're doing. Black Widow is, of course, combat, hand-to-hand, ranged weapon with handguns. She has a grapple that she can use to, like, if an enemy's off the ground, she can like grab herself and pull them down, pull herself up to them, and just like mount them and start beating them up.
I can dig that.
She's great, and the first boss fight in the game is Widow versus Taskmaster. That's great because you have to not only really adapt and think about what you're doing because she's not a super-powered character who can just smash through stuff and fire laser beams and lightning, but also Taskmaster adapts to your moves. For the first half of the boss fight, he's taking everything you give it, everything you can give to him.
Yeah.
So for the second, there's a pause in the middle of the fight where he makes a point of being like, right, got you pinned. And then all the tricks you were doing before do fuck all unless you can hit specific gaps in his attacks. Once his attacks like straighten out, like
that was weird.
That was weird. We just did our thing then. Taskmaster's trying to hack the Skype. Halfway through attacking
someone was
you.
trying to call me, that's why.
Tell him to jog on. We're talking about a mediocre beta.
Yeah.
Halfway through his attacks, he'll sort of like take that moment. He'll do like a flurry, and then he'll be like a rest moment, and you literally have that short gap to get in and attack him while he's sort of just taking a moment. So that boss fight was a lot of fun because it was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, got him, yes! Like, Widow was also then fun to play with later on. I'm hopeful for the story. I hate the setup for the story, but I'm hopeful for the story based on playing as Kamala and spending time with her.
How does it actually feel, though? I mean, I know you've talked about the individual characters, but as a game, how does it actually feel to play in a general sense? Like, this is where the second half of the beta comes in.
Yeah. Because that's what... Playing the story mode for the first, like, hour and a half-ish or longer, the story stuff, was fun. It was your standard third-person action kind of vibe. Waves of enemies weren't overwhelming, but at the same time, they were sort of spaced out just enough that it really felt like that scale of progression up to a boss. The quiet moments where it's just like Kamala and Bruce walking through the forest, getting to the Chimera before they get ambushed by AIM snipers. Like, again, fine. You know, I joked on the stream that it was like the weirdest remake of The Last of Us I've ever played. Because you were just human Troy Baker and young girl Ward walking around trying not to get picked on in a forest. Just like, what? It was bloody weird. I still think Abby might be more jacked than Hulk.
Yeah.
But that's because she's put the work in. She doesn't take gamma rays.
Probably more interesting than the Hulk at this point.
Yes. Now. Ooh, right. So then the world map opened up. Because we had to get hold of... One of the missions is we had to find in the AIM laboratory. We had to find the old hard drive that Jarvis was kept on because they've gone that way with it. Jarvis is an AI.
Just a really very intelligent system.
Yeah, Maria Hill is looking over S.H.I.E.L.D., which is in hiding. Fury is involved. We see him very briefly, but he's
Wait. S.H.I.E.L.D. is shielding.
Yep. Oh God. We see Fury very briefly on a pre-recording thing. The implication is he's either long since dead or missing.
Black Fury or White Fury? You know,
Black Fury.
Cool.
Black Fury, but with salt and pepper, short hair, short back and sides.
Oh, that's neat.
So they've kind of combined the classic Nick Fury look with the more modern take on Fury and
cool.
and his more recent adaptations. And again, all three of those, Fury, Hill, and Jarvis, respectively, are all voice acted really well. As is Abomination, actually. Not British, but also not Russian. Cowards. So, because Widow, during combat, Widow will sometimes say something in Russian, like under her breath.
I bet it's some kind of terrible Russian swear word that we can't say in English.
Yeah, but she's American accented, so it's like, okay.
Oh, that's right.
And then Abomination is also American accented, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, guys, two of the most prominent Russian characters in the comics who never get done as Russian in any extended media. Except for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Widow's Russian in that. Been playing that again recently, and she's Russian. It's like,
yeah,
well
I've been watching you play big chunks of it again recently.
It's a better Avengers game.
I wish I still had Ultimate Alliance 2.
I'll shoot it your way. When we're finished with it, I'll post it through your letterbox. Be like, go on.
I'll never get round to it. All right,
I
need to go back and play X-Men Legends before I even think about Ultimate Alliance.
I think I still have that.
I've got the GameCube ones, so I've got Legends and Legends 2 on the GameCube.
Oh my god, I'll always love Legends 2 because it was like the first ever video game where they went, in the Marvel Universe, we have a whole, like, Arctic jungle full of dinosaurs. Do you think maybe we should use this? It's like, yeah.
Yes.
It's like
Yes,
Savage Land. Like, hello, Shana, Kazar, and Sabu. This is actually happening. Are we going to have a boss fight against Sauron?
I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Comics are fun. Anyway, so the second half of the world map opens, and the world map is essentially a preview of what the majority of the game is going to be, as well as the war rooms, which is the multiplayer aspect of this. Because there is inherently some fun in the idea of 2 to 6 people. Well, it's 4 people in the war rooms in the beta, but 2 to 6 people, each taking a different role of an Avenger in a group and working together on a mission, playing online. Like, that is kind of fun. I didn't do any online portion because I just wanted to, like, get used to the war rooms as is. I was like, let's see how this works, because then it's you and the AI, and you can select 4 characters, so you play as one, and the other 3 are your AI. So I gave the 4 characters they give you for this at this point are Widow, Hulk, Miss Marvel, and Iron Man. So I cycled through all of them. You can't switch mid-mission, which is a big letdown, but I kind of get it because you're meant to play the war rooms online. Like, they're meant to be more of a multiplayer thing. So then they're letting you know that you pick one person, that's who you're playing as. And it's like, okay, and you can there's a lot of customization for the characters. You can really play with the skill trees and the gear that they get to wear, and change their power levels and put more. It's like if Miss Marvel, you could put more into like her stretching powers and her range rather than her immediate strength. Or, like Widow, you can focus more on her firepower, so that if you want to do ranged attacks, your gunfire can be a lot more powerful than, say, your hand-to-hand combat. You can play around with that sort of stuff, but it would have been nice. I agree. It would have been nice on the non-multiplayer war room scenarios to be able to switch between the present characters. But I get it, because it's trying to get it out of your head. If you go in a multiplayer, you're not going to be able to do that. So knuckle down, customize your character, make them the best version of that character you can be, and get into the fight. The war rooms are a Mass Effect style feature where apparently in the campaign there will be sections where you consult the war table, the war map, and you pick which mission you're going to go on. Like, so it's because it's not an open world game. It's linear, but the locations are still quite big. So that at one point we were in a tundra, and it went on for fucking forever, and I didn't find an invisible wall in my exploration. So
that's interesting.
But it's it was like, okay, sure. All right, what have we got here? We've got an AIM facility in New York, so we have to get on the exterior of the building. We have to take out security forces outside the building, and then we need to get in, and then we need to deal with this, that, and the other, and destroy this computer bank. Yeah. Okay, let's go. There's no one on the streets, I guess, because it's security bots everywhere. Okay, sure, that's your workaround. Right, we fought them. Let's get in the building. This is shiny office corridors. Okay. We blew up the thing, and that's it. Okay. We've got an AIM facility in the middle of the jungle. Oh, shit. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely in the jungle. Yep. Okay, we fought some enemies outside, and we're going. Yep, these are shiny office corridors. Yep, we blew up the thing. Okay, well we've got a protect the computer bank thing where we have to like get Jarvis into 3 separate systems and keep the enemies from getting to them. Where's this? Oh right, it's in South America. It's in okay, brilliant. Let's go. We'll do that. Fantastic. Oh look, we're outside. Now we're in. Oh, shiny office corridors. Oh, we fight the enemies and stand by the computer. Every fucking war room is exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
I played 20 war rooms. They are exactly the fucking same.
Well, that's
there is
exciting.
No variety. There are like 3 enemy types, ranged ones who teleport, ones who get right up to you, slightly bigger ones who sometimes have shields, and big mech ones. They all play the same. They're all affected the same. The AI swarms you. It does not take up strategic positioning, except for the teleporty range guys.
Yeah.
But even then, once you start attacking them, they teleport to you. So it's like, okay. The environments are exactly the same. I'm not kidding when I say 12 out of the 20, 12 of the interior sections with the same corridors, same computer bank, same AIM logo, same couches in the reception. They were the exact same everywhere. You power up your health and collect bonus points to power up your gear by smashing crates. Because, we want to be super realistic, but there's also crates you can smash everywhere.
Sure.
Pick one! Fucking pick one! You are either a super realistic or you go a bit cartoony and video gamey, which would have benefited this so much.
Sounds like it.
Oh my god. This was the most monotonous shit. And it was one of those where I was like on stream going, I'm going to try and get them all done. In the end, I didn't do the final harm room scenario, which apparently means I've missed out on a specific decal and costume bonus. I couldn't give a shit. The costumes, oh my god, do you remember how much they put into the costumes with the previews toward the end of last year and the start of this year of like, look at all the costumes, all the comic book costumes, this and the other. Yeah. The comic book costumes are about like 4 or 5 of the ones you can unlock per character.
Yeah.
The other 20 are just slight colour variations of what you're wearing.
Yes, we have the comic book selection of costumes, and we have the rejected design selection of costumes.
Iron Man, it's a legendary armor, and you've got to unlock it, and it gives you all these power-ups. Oh my god, what is it? Well, it's just the armor you're wearing, but it's in Rescue's colours.
Oh.
Okay. Hulk, oh my god! Yeah, there's a Hulk you've unlocked. I unlocked a new Hulk costume. Like, Hulk in the majority of the playthrough for me was based on where he was in the story. So he's got a beard, he's got shaggy hair, and he's wearing grey pants and a purple shirt. So when he transformed, the grey pants are all ripped up, and he's got like remnants of the purple shirt, like cuffs around his wrists.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, that's a look for Hulk, sure. I unlocked one other costume for him during my playthrough, and that costume for him was like Savage something. And it gave you this and this if you wear it, like these buffers. Yep. And these boosts. I was like, that's great. It was the exact same look, but his skin was a slightly lighter green. So there's not even fun in customization, visual customization.
No, it just sounds like colours palette swaps.
Yeah. I hate bringing it up all the time, but it is the only immediate comparison I can think of that is fair in terms of creating a third-person superhero experience, and that is Spider-Man 2018. The variety of outfits in that game, the different things that come with them that you can then swap and change whatever you're wearing. You could play just in the sandbox of that, not doing missions, not doing any combat stuff. You could play for about 30 hours just using the variety and fun of the different costumes and the moves.
Yeah.
And going, oh, let's see what I can do with this. Oh my god, let's see what I can do with this one.
Well, there's
oh
a
god,
reason you keep going back to that game,
punk.
even though you've platinumed it. Like,
yeah, like my regular
it's
sort
fun
of
to
swing
play.
shift streams is just because hey, let's go and swing around New York and fight petty criminals dressed in different outfits. This is fun. Yeah, even Arkham Knight, which is dour as fuck. Like, the different costume selection, and once you've completed the main story, you don't need the tank anymore. I'm going to pick the 66 Batmobile in the Adam West costume.
I don't think
drive around Arkham, drive around Gotham.
I think with all the Batman games, as soon as I've got the option to use a different costume, I've used a different costume.
Again, because they're more fun to look at. They're more visually interesting. Oh, brief Batman news. Warner's Montreal are teasing more about a Court of Owls related Batman title, and the part of the world map leaked this week. And it trended at the exact same time that it was revealed that Rocksteady have allowed several cases of sexual harassment to go on under their roof for the last few years.
Yay.
So, new Batman title, teaser announcement by the company now working on a Batman game. Overshadowed by scumbag behavior at the original Batman people, who were, of course, trying to generate good publicity for their upcoming Suicide Squad game right now. But now I'm like, you guys are dicks. So that's fun. DC Fandom next week. Will we cover it? Yeah,
no.
Probably. Probably.
No.
Probably. Will Warner Brothers cover the salaries for at least 6 months of all the people they just dropped out of nowhere? Probably not. But hey, give Snyder another 40 million to fucking do storyboards for his streaming project. Anyway, the point is... The war rooms are bullshit, and this sort of stuff has got me really worried that that's going to be the majority of the game going forward.
I think it probably is.
If the mission select's going to be that repetitive, then this might be one of those very few occasions where me, Mr. Oh, I'm going to try and platinum, why not? Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Is probably just going to play the campaign and be like, yep, all right.
I'm done, yeah.
And if it's fun to play multiplayer online, maybe I'll end up having fun with that and going, come on, I'm going to jump into a couple matches and see how we go. Like, if there's a progression system, like, sure.
Well, I ain't getting it, so I won't be playing it with you.
But if you really want a multiplayer superhero game that you can only play online without couch co-op, which is a massive missed opportunity for this one. If you can only play, if you want a multiplayer superheroes versus supervillains online multiplayer that is about people who went away for 5 years and are now coming back because it's the only way to save the world, it's called Overwatch. It already exists and it's a ton of fun. Go play it. Overwatch is a better version of whatever this is trying to do.
Yeah,
I think I said it to you the other day that this is a worse. It's a shit attempt at Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So basically, it's Destiny.
I think that is going to be the chunk. The biggest part of the game is going to be the war rooms because that's the bit they can monetize.
Yeah, which is gross. It is gross. I spoke to a friend who got a beta code 3 weeks ago for press reasons. Like he was given this code to, hey, like, could you play the beta early and talk about it? And he says he hasn't bothered.
No.
Because just reading into the game and everything, he's like, no.
Well, I'm not surprised. It doesn't
and
sound
he'll probably lose future thingies, like future sponsorship stuff being given out by like Sony or whatever because of this, but he can't be asked. He's like, I'd rather work on other game coverage than this one. So I'm holding it. I'm still gonna go ahead. Like, if I can't go to the cinema, I'm going to sit at home and play a game I don't have to play, but I'm forcing myself masochistically to play.
That's also fair, yeah.
When 4th September rolls around, I'll be playing some story on my Twitch channel, on Official CDJ. I'm going to play some of the online war rooms on Big Damn Stream. I'm going to spread it out over the two, so if anyone's curious and wants to see what the finished product looks like, I'm going to do some of it next month. But right now, it's like a solid 4 out of 10, with the possibility of dropping to a 2 out of 10 quite easily.
4 out of 10 is not particularly solid. That's like
it's just below average. It's just below average, and that's a shame because these are the Avengers. Their first game that is like a dedicated Avengers game. The first one since like a freaking Sega title in the late 80s or whatever, like an arcade cabinet. It should not be just okay. It should be spectacular. It should be really fun. Even if it's flawed, it should be like, oh, well, they got that wrong, but I had a lot of fun with it. And this is not that.
It sounds like you might have a bit of fun with it. A little bit of fun.
Kamala Khan fun.
Oh, okay.
That sounds
all right.
Kamala Khan fun.
Speaking of fun.
Available now in cans. Kamala cans.
Speaking of fun, we got a couple of emails to catch up on that we didn't get to.
Are they from Captain America? Hi boys, I am alive beyond the prologue. Stick around.
No, they're from our new Doctor Who correspondent, Sam.
Not Siam.
Sam, the Doctor Who person. These are great.
Sam, the Doctor Who man.
Sam, I love these emails, and I'm sorry we didn't get to them sooner, but these are great.
Hit me with some top draw.
So we've got
fresh out the box, Sam.
We've got 2 to catch up on. The first one is hello.
Hello. My name is Elder Sam.
And it says, Hello, Batman, a.k.a. Matt, and Robin, a.k.a. Chris. I'm Batman.
Fair enough. So you're a rich conservative who punches mentally disabled people.
If only. So I'm a bit miffed on season 7, and Liz is okay, but she's not bad. And Nicholas Courtney is great, and John, my God, John Pertwee is the greatest, in all caps. Sorry about that. I just love John.
Yeah?
So this week it's Inferno. My second season 7 story, so let's get into it. Inferno is a top-secret project that involves drilling down into the crust of the Earth to unleash a new energy source. However, the Doctor, along with his assistant Liz Shaw, has considered that this drilling will have disastrous consequences for the whole world. His concerns are soon confirmed when the TARDIS throws him into a dangerous parallel universe where Project Inferno is almost complete and the end of the Earth is near. Episode 1. Okay, a good start, but it gets so much better. Episode 2. John's gone. No. Episode 3.
But you said he was dead.
Episode 3. Benton. Just Benton. And Greg is lovely. And drive, John, drive. Episode 4. Oh, okay. Episode 5. We love you, Greg. Episode 6. The best episode of this story. Lava is coming and guys are blowing up. Episode 7, stop this project now! Well, that was great. Next week, the Aztecs. Goodbye, my favourite podcast. Fucking love them, Sam. Keep them coming. Okay.
I fear for Sam, but I'm also aroused.
I'm loving it. Next one comes in, and it's the Aztecs, as promised. Hello. Hope you're having a great day. I am. So season 1 of Doctor Who, 23rd November to 1963 to 12th of September 1964. I love this season, as you can see. And he sent us a picture of his DVD shelf. And all of season 1 is on there, I think.
That is a big old building shelves.
And he says, you can see my DVDs. Yesterday, my stepdad had a clean out and he gave me the Peladon Tales box set and all his Tom Baker DVDs. Robot, Ark in Space, Genesis of the Daleks, and more. So, back to the Aztecs. The story. The TARDIS materializes in Mexico in the 15th century. Barbara is mistaken for reincarnation of an Aztec high priest Yetaxa, and she's going to rewrite history. Can the Doctor stop one of his friends, or will this be the end? The Doctor in this is absolutely amazing. Billy Hartnell is good. Yes.
Billy is good.
Yes, he is.
Billy is great. Billy would like to be your mate.
Ian.
But only if you're white.
Ian.
Straight.
God, he's good. One of my favourite character in Hartnell's time in TARDIS so far. Latoxel. Said it right. Latoxel is so evil, so great. That makeup, so good. I just love Latoxel. Ixter.
Mugging to camera as well.
Ixter is evil, but now he's dead. Okay, we are finished. We are. For this week. Yeah. Next week, the Daemons. Goodbye, my friends. Fucking love it. I love it so much. Can't wait to hear what you think of the Demons. The Daemons from Deimos. I don't know.
The Matt Damons. Eh?
God, I'm very croaky. So yeah, if you do want to send us any emails, such as those wonderful Doctor Who missives from Sam, then you can do so on bigdamcontact@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at bigdamcast on the Twitters. You can watch us over at twitch.tv/bigdamstream, and of course Chris also streams at twitch.tv/official CDJ. And if you are in some sort of position where you want to bung us a little bit of money for what we do, which to be fair isn't as much as we want to, but we can only do more if you give us some more money, then we can do that over at patreon.com/bigdamcast.
I mean, on the basic level, it just helps us pay for keeping the podcast on the internet.
Yeah,
so
that
helps.
That's something.
If you can at least do that, that'd be sweet. $1, $1. That's less than £1.
I think I can change it to pounds now, actually, but I'll have a look at that. To avoid conversion fees,
just pounding
it. Right.
That made a comeback this week. I was very happy.
Oh, excellent. Speaking of which, I'm now going to go off and pound it. So I'll see y'all next week.
Oh, good lord.